Welcome, my friends, to Cuentame USA with the same guy every week, Moncho Camano. Today I'm speaking with Caitlin Stokes. She's I guess we could say the front woman of the
The
dark,
front woman.
yeah, of the dark
Yeah.
wave, post-punk, goth, electronic, anything you want to say.
All of it.
Corlyx, all of it. So I just want to thank her for being a presence today. And I believe she's across the ocean somewhere, maybe in Italia. I have no idea.
I am.
Italy. She's in a beautiful country. Well, what can I say? Beautiful.
It is.
So, how are things going in your life, Catherine?
It's going
Everything?
really good. I think
Yeah.
2025 is going to be the best year for Corlyx. As far as bookings and our double album coming out. So we're really excited. It's been a slow build for this band. And I think, you know, it's just all of our fans get to see us slowly meeting these milestones.
Yeah.
So everybody's very excited for 2025, and so am I. I'm really excited.
Yeah. Let me tell you guys, I want to be sincere. The band, for me, was like something new. I just it was a coincidence, like it always happens. You come across bands, maybe
Yeah.
YouTube, anything. Maybe I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago. But after I heard a bunch of songs from them, like The Echo and Kill Cave and Ghost of the West Coast, I said I had to get in touch with this band. I loved it. So
Ah,
that's
that's so great.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean, that's how it should happen, like just natural discovery. I just try to constantly make videos and talk on the internet as much as I can.
yeah,
A lot of bands have more of a budget to do like proper marketing, and we don't have that. I just rely on like a constant stream of content
right.
because I'm a photographer and a music video director. So I can make everything myself.
Yeah.
And so I just keep creating and keep creating. So
Yes,
yeah.
you're doing a great job. I did some research on you guys, you and Brandon, Ashley, and So I believe you were originally from Florida. Is that right, Caitlin? Am I right?
Yeah, I was born in Florida, but I didn't spend much time there.
Mm.
I moved away when I was like 2 years old and went with my mom to New York
Oh,
and then Hawaii and spent most of my young childhood in Hawaii.
hmm,
And then, which is interesting.
it is.
But actually, Hawaii is where I became a goth and like at 11 years old. And there was only a few of us on the whole island
I
that
imagine.
were goths. So we were very like the weirdos. And I actually love that about my story though, because I was influenced by pop culture at the time because it was the early 90s, but
Mm.
like nobody in Hawaii was goth. It was just like me and a couple of my friends, and we all started
Yeah.
doing it together. And then I moved back to Florida to stay with my dad.
Oh.
But I was only there for 2 years, but it was really nice moving to Florida as a goth kid because
Mm.
then it was like a whole world of goth
Yeah.
opened up. And it was like all the Tampa goths, and I got to really understand what the subculture was
Right.
and being like introduced to the Tampa goth thing. And they, like my older friends, used to sneak us into the castle, which is like the main goth club in
Right.
Ybor.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I was like sneaking in there underage.
Underage.
So I'm
Mm.
telling you, but it was the late 90s at this point, so like nobody cares now. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, it's just funny too because some of the same people are still going there. Like they never left Tampa. They're still there. So that's cool. And then when I was 16, I moved to LA.
Right. Uh, was your mother also into music? She played in a band. Was she part of a band?
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
she was in a few bands.
Okay.
She was a beautiful singer, songwriter. She played guitar as well. And
Mm.
she taught me. guitar and piano, like all these things when I was really, really young.
Hmm.
And then we actually joined a band together.
Right.
Uh, it was great. It was called Edge of August,
That's a good.
which
That's
is actually a really great
yeah.
band name.
Yeah.
So Edge of August, yeah, it was kind of like the Cranberries. That's like the closest thing.
Oh, really?
It was really cool. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to do.
Right.
Um, but my mom also, she's the one that introduced me to goth music like when I was basically in her womb. I was like listening to Bauhaus
Oh,
while I was
the
in her womb.
late 70s. Yeah.
No, no, no. I was born in 83. So,
No, no, I'm talking about like late 70s goth
yes,
music.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes. And so, it was really like people asked me, I had an interview a little while ago, oh, what do you like goth music? And I was like, I don't know, but I probably because I was listening to it in my mother's womb and then
Yeah,
my whole life growing up. So it's
yeah,
just so in me, it's such a part of me, thanks to her.
yeah. I don't know. I love goth music. I love every kind of music, to tell you the truth. Mostly 99% of it. I really enjoy. There are times that I don't listen anymore for some reason. You go into a different genre and you stay there for
Yeah,
a while and then you go back. You know how it
yeah,
is.
yeah, absolutely. I do that as well. And I think you can hear it with Corlyx.
Yeah.
We're not just one thing. We blend a lot of
Oh,
stuff depending
yes.
on the songs.
Yes.
And it is harder as a band to market yourself when you're not so like cookie cutter, we're just this or we're just that. It
Right.
is harder because you're not as marketable because you have so many different flavors.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with our collabs, we experimented a lot with our collabs with bigger artists
Right.
because I wanted to make music that was closer to their genre with them and kind of like combined what we do together. And so, but unfortunately, that kind of screws up your algorithm on Spotify. Like when we collaborated with Lord of the Lost,
Right.
which was an amazing opportunity for us. And they are great. Chris Harms is awesome. He's so talented.
Hmm.
But it was like, it got us into all these like metal playlists and algorithms.
Right,
And
right,
I was
right.
like, oh, whoops. And it's like Corlyx is similar to Rammstein. And I'm like, oh no.
No, I know what you're trying to say. It's hard to keep yourself in a box because,
Yeah, yeah. And
yeah,
so you do have to, like, I still wouldn't change what we did because we have a lot of fans from them that found us through that
yeah,
collab.
right,
So I
right.
still wouldn't change that. But yeah, it kind of like messed with our like algorithm a little bit to do that.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit. I probably came across with you in YouTube, probably watching some dark wave bands that I was into. So
That's good. Yeah, on
yeah,
YouTube, like we're fine. It's more like
yeah,
on Spotify. The algorithm is just only now starting to get a little more accurate as to like who we are as band.
yeah,
But I even put in the like bio profile, like we do different genres when we collab with other bands.
yeah. I've been listening to your records, to everything you put out. Probably I'm missing some stuff, but it's been a big change from the beginning to now. A big evolution in
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, plus we change a lot ourselves. But
Yeah.
like the fact is in alternative music in general,
Mm,
you're not getting rich, okay? Nobody's getting rich here. This is like a passion,
of course.
And if I want to make a song, I'm going to make it. Like I don't care about marketing and all of that is like
Yeah.
second or third to me. The first thing to me is to be able to create what I want and to have the freedom to create what I want. And like, that's the most important thing. So, you either dig it or you don't dig it, but yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if we go back a little bit, you moved to California for what reason? For personal reasons or just to get a better source of income? Like,
California, well, I moved there with my mom. She
okay.
moved us there when I was 16.
Hmm.
So, I ended up she moves all the time. As you can see,
Well,
we moved a lot.
I know you're like the traveling
So
gypsies.
we're basically gypsies, yes. And we were actually always on the run
Hmm.
from someone or something.
Right.
So because she had a mental illness,
Right.
so we were always escaping from like the mafia or aliens or demons. Yeah, I'm totally serious.
I
And
understand you're like out of touch with reality, or you have some
yes,
compulsive behaviors and stuff like that, I guess.
yes. And so I thought it was real when I was really young because I was like, I believe my mom because she's my
Of course,
mom.
of
But
course,
then
yes.
I started realizing, oh, she's actually sick.
Right.
And, so I kind of tried taking care of her as much as I could and trying to like convince her, no, that's not real. Like, there's nobody on our roof.
Right.
These
I
kinds of
understand.
things. It was really hard. But eventually I was able to leave and go out on my own in LA. I moved in with a girlfriend and, just started my own life.
Right. And you got into the medical field, am I correct? Like on the research I did.
Yes.
You did. Were you like
That's
a
so
nurse
great.
for a couple of years? Yeah.
Thank you for looking into that. Yeah, I worked at Cedar Sinai Hospital for
Hmm.
like almost 13 years as a neurosurgical technologist. I
Okay.
did other surgeries too, but mainly
Hmm.
brain and spine surgery.
Hmm. So tell me about this other guy. You're Brandon. How do you meet
Brandon,
Brandon? Because it looks to me like he might be like not a Lord and Savior, but some kind of guy that appeared in your life that was made a big difference. I don't know.
yes, no, you're absolutely right. Like, really.
Right.
And when we met, I had just turned 30, so I was kind
Hmm.
of feeling like I needed a big change at that age. And I
Hmm.
was already kind of feeling like LA, like I was getting too old for LA. Because LA is so
Oh
all about
no.
like partying and like being youthful and beautiful and all these things. And it's a lot of pressure for women to age in that city.
Hmm.
And I just was already feeling that. And I also was feeling very unfulfilled artistically because even though I had been in bands, I had never recorded an album. I had never produced an album. All I knew how to do was write songs and like play guitar and piano. So,
Hmm.
so him coming along, like completely changed my life musically. And obviously, we got married
Hmm.
and moved to Europe. So, yeah, it's like,
So
it's,
he was like he persuaded you to get to take the music more seriously, more or
yeah,
less.
I mean, it was more natural than that. Like,
Hmm.
he was in a band
Right.
when we met. I actually wasn't quite with my band, my old band when we met.
Hmm.
Because I had another ex-boyfriend that was like in that band, so that was over.
All right.
And so, yeah, like it was him doing music, and then I was helping him with his band, The Dark.
Dark. Right.
Yeah. And then we started doing like our side thing together, and that's when Corlyx basically started writing music together. And then he was the one that was like, no, you're so talented and like you're like an amazing vocalist and
Right.
like you need to do music. And I was like, I know, because of course that's what I really wanted. But I just never had the time and I never had like I couldn't. do this without him, and he couldn't do it without me. Like we are both equal, so
Right.
equal in this endeavor. And that's what's really beautiful about it is we have very similar taste in music, but we each are different as far as like what we like ultimately. So when we combine everything together, it creates this very unique creature.
Hmm. Is the Dark still running?
Yeah.
Is he still with the band? The
Yeah.
Dark?
Yes. Yes. They're a little bit on hiatus right now because we have to kind of do one, then the other, then do one, then the other.
Hmm.
So, because as you know, like a band is like a full-time
Right.
thing.
Hmm.
And but The Dark is writing an amazing album right now, and there's also three other members for The
Okay.
Dark. So they are just in the middle of making like a massively amazing album. So
Hmm.
when that's ready, then we'll kind of pivot a little bit.
Hmm. So can we consider you a trio or a duo? Because you got a bassist. What's his name? David Rocco?
Davide,
Davide.
yeah.
Davide.
So Davide is like amazing because he's very much super reliable. He's always there for us. Him and
Hmm.
Brandon used to be in a band together actually back in the day in Italy.
Okay.
And so they've just been friends since Brandon was like a kid. And so he's just wonderful. He comes into the studio and tracks bass
Okay.
after we've written the songs, but he definitely does some bass writing. Like we use bass synthesizers as well. So then he'll just kind of like right on top of that, and like he definitely add like because he's an actual bass player. Like when we write bass, like we're not really bass players. So like having him come into the studio, tracking his parts definitely adds to the overall sound. And then of
Right.
course live he's with us. So yeah, the Corlyx is a trio for sure.
Hmm. Are you talking about the previous band, Brandon, Ashley, and the Silver Box? Is that right? Am I right?
Yeah. Oh my God,
Okay.
you did so much research. That's really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. I listen a little bit too.
That was like early 2000s,
Right.
Brashly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I've been listening to your albums, Into the Skin, Together Apart, Blood and Disco. There are songs that I really enjoy listening to. Some are very strong lyrics on it. I don't know. And like
Yeah.
self-mutilation or my body is
Yeah.
wrong and things like that.
So Into the Skin was a very personal record.
Hmm.
And, a lot of people are commenting on the new stuff coming out being very kind of campy and light,
Hmm.
which is very much on purpose because I already did the very serious record, and that's Into the Skin. So
Hmm.
if you want like the most serious record from me, go listen to that
Yeah.
because lyrically, that was like everything in my life. Like I poured it on a plate. And actually, when Brandon was mixing the record, I had to leave the studio and
Hmm.
even like the apartment because I couldn't hear it because it was giving me anxiety attacks. Like it was so intense that I couldn't really be around it. And even to this day,
Hmm.
we can't really play any of those songs live
Right.
because it's too much for me. Like I'll just start breaking down and I won't be able to sing because it's like so intense.
Yeah, it is intense.
Yeah, and maybe like in a longer set, we could throw in a song or two.
Hmm.
But yeah, Into the Skin was very much that record. And then even Together Apart had a lot of stuff about my mom because that's when my mom passed away.
As that porcelain skin, the one I guess
Yes,
I seen a
yes.
video
She
clip
was
of.
still alive when I
Hmm.
wrote that,
Hmm.
but by the time it came out, she had just passed away.
Hmm.
So, it's very much like that record was still also very sad and personal.
Right.
And then Blood in the Disco was me kind of like, even though the echo was still on there, but like I actually wrote the echo also during my time of grief.
Hmm.
So the echo was also about her. I'm never gonna stop writing about her because she's such an important part of me. She is
Right.
me. So I'm always trying to speak to her in the afterlife, in the realms, and she's will always be an inspiration for all my writing.
He's always present and yeah, day to day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always. So, but at the same time, I also love the campy side of goth. I love the how goth can also be fun on the dance floor
Right.
and spooky and just like, lighthearted. I'm a big Tim Burton fan. Of course, I grew up in the 90s. I love like the campy side of goth. And
Yeah.
so the new record Purple Pain. I mean, even like the title is like Purple Pain.
Yeah.
Come on, like that's fun
It is
to
fun, the
me.
name. Yeah, Purple Rain from
Yeah,
Queen's.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So, but there's a couple songs on there that are serious, but yeah, it's mostly just like a fun dance album, and it's got like so many influences, but lyrically, there are a lot of lighter songs.
Yeah. Like regarding your lyrics, I guess your writing technique has changed throughout the years. It's not the same than when you started, right? Because you probably started writing
Oh,
things when
I
you were like
honestly,
young.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I write so many songs. Like, I also help writing lyrics for The Dark as well
Hmm.
because I'm just writing to me comes so like easy. So
Yeah.
yeah, I love to. I'm not sure how much I've changed, but I guess it's more of like a mood. Right
Yeah.
now, I'm in a really good place in my life.
Hmm.
Uh, I'm like really come out of the shadows. So, like, as far as my grief and like my childhood and my past, I had like lots of issues with men in my life because of my father.
Hmm.
And I've really just like come through all of that. And I'm, it's hard to like write about those things when I feel like I've evolved past that and I've healed a lot of that.
Right. You always your writing is you always use more than one interpretation. Like yeah, the songs are sometimes enigmatic, obscure, but like you said, they're sometimes a little cheesy or trashy, or I don't know if trashy is the right word, or
Yeah,
fun.
can't
Uh,
be.
so you use your subjects they change from time to time, but what I notice is you got a lot of empathy and towards people. Very. There are songs that are sad, some are sexy. There is everything, a little bit of everything. It's like I don't know. Like it's your music. Music is your therapy.
Yes.
Yeah. So what I trying to say is that you seem like very authentic with what you write. You're sincere. You're honest with what you write. You don't. You don't try to hide things or pretend that something you're not the person that so
Yeah. Oh, that's like really great that you noticed that.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, nobody's getting rich off of being like a goth musician or even an alternative musician.
Yeah. So you feel
So,
you're more productive in the morning or late at night? When do you do most of your writing, Caitlin?
uh,
Doesn't matter.
anytime really, we work with like album cycles. So when it's like time to write the album,
Mm,
then it's like every day, all day. We're either producing in the studio or I'm writing lyrics or, and a lot of what you hear on the albums,
mm,
I will sit with the song that we just produced musically. So we do all the music first. And then I have like a song books, several of them. And I hand write.
mm.
Like lyrics that I think are going to be good. And then I go into the vocal booth and we track. And I kind of freestyle in the vocal booth.
Hmm.
And maybe I do a few takes if I feel like the delivery isn't good or the pitch isn't perfect, because I don't like to correct any of that after.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of what you hear on the album is me singing the song for the first time, or like kind of just improving or even changing lyrics right off the bat. And then I have to go back when I'm like, okay, oh, I changed the lyrics in the vocal booth.
Right, right.
because I just feel like it's the best when I'm really in the zone. Because as I just close my eyes and I kind of just do it and then it's done. And I don't want to go back and do it again. I just like,
Hmm.
that's how I prefer to make records.
Hmm. That's very interesting. So, do you think yourself of like a better singer or a songwriter?
Songwriter for sure. I'm not a good,
You are a
like,
great singer. Come on.
I'm okay, but I
I love
don't
it.
practice. I don't
Hmm.
do my scales.
Hmm.
I was really bad to my voice when I was younger. I used to smoke so much. And so and I also have asthma. I have really bad asthma.
Oh, that's bad. I know from
So
my daughters, they both get asthma, so I know how it is.
yeah, and I've been getting better from it because, well, I quit like vaping, I quit smoking, obviously, but also with my diet, I quit dairy because that was like the main thing that was really hurting my lungs.
Right,
And, I have an inhaler. I try to use it only when I need it. But
right.
yeah, also like the air quality, the pollution where I am now isn't the best as well.
Are you in the city?
Um,
Are you living in the city, Torino?
yeah, we're in
Torino?
the city. We're a little bit on the hill, but
Hmm.
Torino, in Italy, it's surrounded by the Alps. So
Okay.
we're in like a valley and all the pollution just sits like on in
Oh,
the
that.
valley. So the air
Mhm.
quality, if you ever look at it on a map, it's always like in the red, which is like
Eesh.
terrible.
Yeah, that's not a good
Yeah,
thing.
but anyway, I could so before shows, I try to warm up and practice as much as possible, but I'm not like a very dedicated singer, and I'm trying to maybe do better, like especially this year with the festivals we booked. I'm like,
Right.
okay, I need to practice more. I need to like get my voice like really
Hmm.
pumping because live performance, as you know, is so difficult
I know.
and it's so physical. So, I'm going to try to become a better singer this year. That's the one thing that I'm like my resolution. Because I've always just naturally been able to sing. So I never had to like try to sing. Um,
Right.
yeah,
But you
so
could never be a Bruce Springsteen play for 3 hours.
right,
It
right.
wouldn't.
And it takes training to do that.
Right.
Opera singers and all these amazing vocalists, like you ask them and they will tell you their training. They are very dedicated.
Right.
And I've just never had that drive in me to like want to be the best vocalist or a better singer. And so I
Mm.
want to be better. But with songwriting, I feel like I could write in any genre. I write songs for other people all the time, for other artists. I
Hmm.
could write a song. I write songs in 5 minutes. Like that is just something that is
It's
not,
naturally for you.
yeah, like I'm like, okay, I may not be the best singer, but I'm really good at writing songs.
Oh, you just sing well for me. Uh,
Thank you.
you are also a tall person. At least on your videos, they look so large, like a basketball player. But I don't know
Yeah.
how tall you are. Maybe 6 feet or 6'2". I don't know. You look
I
quite
six,
tall.
yeah, 6 feet even, 6'0",
Oh,
which is
okay.
very tall, obviously.
Yeah.
But so when I wear, a platform or heels, then I'm like 6'6".
Yeah, you look quite tall. It's like, but I don't know, with asthma, did you play any sports in early?
No,
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 not
that's the thing. Like I've never been a sports person. So I have a genetic disorder called Marfan syndrome.
okay. I don't
And
know what
it's
that
like
is.
makes so like we can do this, we can
Oh, okay.
do
Okay. Yeah,
that,
you.
like all of our it's like hyper flexibility. And even so I have my spine, I had scoliosis really bad. I was like completely hunched over, and I
Mhm.
had to get spine surgery, scoliosis surgery when I was 14.
Okay.
And I get all kind of like joint problems and
Does the
subluxations.
cold weather affect your the way?
Cold weather,
Yeah.
yeah. I have to get my heart checked every year. They measure my aorta,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll eventually have to get that replaced.
Right.
It's a lot, because I was born with a physical disability.
Mm-hmm.
I have a very good like mindset about it though, because I was born this way.
Right.
So I'm very much like, I can do it. I'm strong. I got this. I'm not
That's
disabled.
cool. Yeah.
I'm tough. Like, I'm like the opposite of how people react when they get a chronic illness. They tend to very much be mentally in their illness.
Right.
And I'm like the opposite of that. Like, I could be feeling a type of way when I wake up in the morning, especially like I get my neck is like completely down. And
Hmm.
so I get horrible pain everywhere in my arms, like my head, my eyeballs.
Right.
So, but when I'm like this, which could be any day,
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm like, I do the opposite. I go for a walk. I eat really healthy. I eat a green juice. I stretch. I bend. I tell my body, I love my body. I love you.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. Like,
Yeah.
I'm so kind to myself
Mm-hmm.
and very much mentally like positive about the way I am. So I don't really like go around saying, "Oh, I'm disabled. I'm
Yeah.
disabled." Like, I'm very much
You
like,
don't want to play the victim part.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, but it's easier said than done for
I know.
people. And I do understand when people
Hmm.
maybe they grow up and they feel normal and then all of a sudden they get sick. It's
Yeah.
really hard for them to mentally adjust to that because they feel like something was taken away from them.
Right. Hmm. That's very interesting. But
Yeah.
fashion plays a big part of your appearance, uh, and your attitude, I
Yeah.
guess. You sometimes you look to me like from the 70s, like a glam thing. I don't know, New York dolls and
Yeah.
stuff
No,
like
I
that.
love glamour. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Me and Brandon are both very glamorous. We're very glam and inclined. I fuse like vintage glam with like modern goth. Even like
Right.
my outfit today, I
Right.
have like little goth pieces, but this jacket is like
Yeah.
from the 80s. Like it's vintage, it's wool. Like I love to mix styles. You know, also the music is like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. It's really, really nice. Uh, Like
Thank you.
I was listening to your music. I've been listening that for the last week. You guys kept me busy listening to your band, what you do. You know, uh, I like that kind of music, the music they make, because it brings you to the, I guess, the imaginary part, cinematic and dramatic at the same time. You get those feelings. And, people love emotion in music, so that's what I get. A lot of emotion listening to your music. And
I love that. That's
yeah,
so great.
and I guess the music you make is like it shows also beauty comes out of difficulties. So that's that the way you express your feelings. Uh, Sometimes is in a beautiful way, even if the past might you had bad times or difficult times, but the difficult times also bring beauty to the music. I don't know.
Yes.
So
Yes. Absolutely.
yeah,
I mean, especially, with dark music.
Yeah.
It's a therapy for most people to listen to it or to make it. You
Yeah.
know, that's why I have a big problem with pop music.
Yeah.
Because for me, pop music is so disconnected from emotion
Right.
that it physically hurts me to hear pop music.
I know what you're trying to say. Sometimes it bothers me
But
because it
well,
seems
it
like it's
depends.
not real. It's not
Yeah, it
sincere. It's
depends.
not
Like,
sincere, you know.
yeah, it depends what era we're talking about. Obviously, I
Yeah.
love a lot of 80s pop. I love a lot of 70s pop.
Yeah.
And even some nine, I feel like the 90s, like late 90s, early 2000s, maybe there was a few in there, but that's when it really started getting so bad to me.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I
I don't know
agree with
why.
you. agree with you, Caitlin. I don't know. I'm an old guy, you know. You
I
know.
know. I'm like, is it because I'm old?
No, I'm the old guy, you know. I used to, you know, I live in New Jersey, but you know, because I'm like 10 minutes, 20 minutes from Manhattan, and that's where I you always hang out, you know,
Yeah.
in the village and going to CBGB and seeing all those bands, and they seem more sincere to me. But they were mostly like hardcore and punk bands, you know. But for me, when I went to see the Cramps for the first time, for me it was so much, you know, the people that, you know, that music made me, you know, feel like they were sincere. It's what they weren't fake, you know. That's what they
Yeah.
wanted. So it's been so long, you know, since the late 80s and stuff, but it's
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
music I really caught my
Like
attention.
there are bands now that are, doing very much giving that.
Yeah.
And I'm loving this third wave of goth music.
Yes, a lot of good
Some
bands.
people call it the fourth wave.
Yeah.
And I can see that because there was also a resurgence in like the 2010 time. So maybe we are in the fourth wave, but we're definitely in, a very big resurgence. And I feel like this has happened for the same reason it kind of happened, in the first wave.
Right.
It's like we are going through such a tumultuous, sad, horrific time in,
Yeah.
in the world, and we're all very aware of it because of social media and like everything
Yeah.
we're being exposed to. Everything is so incredibly overwhelming and saddening. And I feel like a lot of us feel extremely powerless, and we're just reminded every day
Yeah.
that what we want to see in the world will never happen, and it just keeps getting further and further away. And
Yeah.
so music is
Yeah.
like all we have that
Yeah.
is like real and true.
Yeah.
And really, and they're trying to take that away from us as well with AI and streaming and all of these things.
Yeah.
They're making it so hard for musicians to even tour. Everything is just so
Yeah.
anti-art and anti struggling artist,
Yeah.
being able to actually live,
I
you know.
agree.
And that's the main reason why I didn't really do much in my 20s, is because I was working full time in a hospital.
Right.
I just didn't have the energy to do what I'm doing now. And luckily now I can spend every day making music if I want.
Right. That's cool. Uh, yeah, for me, it's like sometimes I wish there was no internet and nothing. Just,
Yeah.
just go and talk to my neighbor directly and stop sending him messages and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so,
it's a love-hate relationship for sure.
yeah,
Although my first band was before social media,
yeah,
and we had to like go on the street and like pass out flyers,
of course.
and be like, come to our show,
Uh,
you know. And
Yeah,
forget about recording music, because back then it costs thousands and thousands of dollars, and like,
Of course,
So
yeah.
forget about that. There was no home recordings. So it was very hard, especially as a young girl trying to do music.
Yeah.
I was very quickly taken advantage of by people who, were gonna do things for my career, but really were just trying to be predators.
Yeah.
And
No,
yeah,
I know what you're
and
trying to
so
say also.
yeah, and so like I didn't have like it was very unsafe, and that was actually why I was like, forget it. That's never gonna happen
This
for
is not for
me.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't. But now artists are empowered to do everything themselves. They don't need anything.
Hmm.
So I do actually really appreciate that aspect. Of course, there's negative sides to that, but
Right.
there's also positive sides to like the way modern music is distributed and accessible for everyone.
Yeah. I've been following you on Instagram and seeing a couple of your posts that you put out. I don't know, maybe a couple of days ago or yesterday. I don't know when I saw that little video that regarding Tori Amos and talking about the industry and how they were treating women and being called a bimbo and by Billboard
Yeah.
magazine and all that.
Like, can you imagine
Yeah.
calling Tori Amos a bimbo? Like, what
Yeah, that album.
planet are
Why?
we on?
Yeah, why can't Tori read? I'm a big Tori Amos fanatic, so I got everything that she does. So, but I know, eh, for me,
She's like, she is one of the most talented human beings to ever walk the planet Earth. And if anyone's watching this and they
yeah.
haven't seen her play live,
Oh, I did many
like,
times.
yes, like you just can't, like, talent like that doesn't really exist anymore. There are good singers
Yeah.
now, but they don't play an
Oh, they were
instrument like
the
she
the
plays the
piano. Oh man,
piano.
I can't believe it.
Like back
Harpsichord and stuff.
then, we
Yeah.
had music virtuosos.
Yeah.
You didn't just sing, you played, you were a musician.
Yeah.
And nowadays, you don't need to do that, right? Because you could program everything into your computer or whatever. Like maybe you're a great singer,
Mhm.
but tell me who is an amazing vocalist, songwriter, and also plays like that.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
one. No
yeah.
one.
It's true.
So, you
Yeah.
know, I miss looking up to people like that. It's okay, but I feel like it's like that is disappearing a little bit because
Yeah.
what's the incentive
Right.
to have to be a Tori Amos, right? There's there's not a lot of incentive to be as talented and virtuoso as
Right.
artists like Tori. So yeah, I mean we'll always have that in the past.
Yeah. Well, she's still.
Because I'm not gonna sit at a piano for thousands of hours to get as good as her, right?
But you make also great videos. Let me tell you,
Thank you.
you're a videographer. You make because you're the director of your work.
Everything, yes, I do
Everything is
everything.
you. You
Yes.
know, that's a lot of. I love your videos and the outfits you wear and everything. So everything is your idea. Nothing. Brandon doesn't come with any.
Well, he definitely comes up with ideas
Hmm.
for scenes. Yeah.
Okay.
But he saves most of his ideas for the dark. So it's like, we try to keep the two Corlyx and the dark separated.
Hmm.
So when it comes to the creativity for the dark, that's him.
Okay.
I do shoot the videos and the photos as well, but I let him direct for the
Okay.
dark. And then for Corlyx, it's more like my brain. So it's very much like that's you can see the difference in the personalities of the bands, but then you can also see like, oh yeah, that does look a little bit the same.
Yes, I could see that. And you're also into photography. Were you into, or you were into photography? I don't know if you still are and painting and stuff. Do you still do that, or you put that aside for now?
Yeah, I still shoot photos. I've stepped away from shooting other people.
Hmm.
Uh, Actually, because so my last video I did for someone else was I directed and did a video, edited everything for Lord of the Lost.
Okay.
And that video was very stressful for me because I had a very small budget and I only had 4 hours to shoot the whole thing. Because they were on tour with Iron Maiden and they had like a small window to shoot.
Right.
And Chris had asked me to do this video
Hmm.
because he liked my other videos. And I was like, yeah, I can do it. You know, I saw it as like a really good opportunity as a director.
Hmm.
And I loved the final video. I loved it, but his fans did not like it. Okay, the people that actually watched the video and commented, they liked it. So there's not really any bad comments,
Okay.
but it got like the lowest amount of views than almost any of his videos.
Oh.
So that tells me like it wasn't on brand with what like his fans wanted to see from him.
Hmm.
And also the other thing about that video is it was very much for the female gaze, okay?
Hmm. Hmm.
Even like the thumbnail was for the female gaze, and the majority of the Lord of the Lost fans are men.
Okay.
So,
Right.
like, they were like not wanting to even watch that. They were not interested in that. But sure enough, if you look at the comments in that video, it's all the women being like, yes, oh my God, this is so
I gotta
hot,
go
you
back
know?
and see that video again because to see how I feel
Yeah,
about it.
the song was oh my God, I just like
Never Love. Is that the song? Never
no,
Love?
no, no, that's the song we did together. So I
Okay.
made my own video for
Ah, you're
that.
talking about their video. Okay. I
So
don't
this
know.
is just a Lord of the Lost song. I
Okay.
did the music video for it.
Okay. I gotta look into that.
Oh my God, what was it called? Anyway,
Yeah.
the thumbnail for the video is him in a bath with like a mask, snorkel mask,
Okay.
and like wearing this like pink, hot pink
Oh,
like
okay.
collar. It was very, it's very like female gaze
Okay.
grotesque
I
music
gotta
video.
see that video. I have to see it. I didn't see
I
it. I
love it.
don't
And
think I did.
so I had them like smashing fruit with like chainsaws and like sledgehammers and stuff. Like, I don't know. It was really creative.
I gotta look
I,
into that.
yeah, you'll see like when you see the thumbnail, you'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, that's like the girl from Corlyx. She did that video.
Okay.
You could tell. You could tell.
I'll look into that. See
As
how
soon as
it.
I like remember the name, I will
Yeah,
like
but I will find it for sure. So tell
yeah.
me, is Italy is now is it temporary for you, Italy? Because like you said, you
I
keep
don't know.
moving,
I don't
you don't know, you
know.
may
I don't
end up in
know.
Australia somewhere, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? You know, we move a lot and you know, at this point we lived in the UK, we lived in Berlin, and we're back in Italy. So it's like, I don't know, we're free spirits, you
Okay.
know. We just go where we feel like we need to
But
be. It's like
you have no plans of coming back to the US for now, right? Is that right?
for now,
Nah,
no. I
not
just
yet.
don't, I'm over the US and all its bullshit. I have been
Okay.
for a while.
Okay.
That country never gave me anything. And as far as I'm concerned, they're the reason why my mother died early at 59 was because
Mm.
I couldn't get her
Don't talk.
care.
We talk about healthcare, forget it. Then
Yeah.
we really, I know how it is. You're,
Yeah. So, like, I just felt so powerless and helpless with her.
yeah.
And then also my own care. And then just like the quality of the food and just everything the hyper capitalism. I
I know.
was dying under that, like I was drowning in that.
Yeah.
And being
And
in
it's
New
getting
York,
worse. It's getting worse.
and
That's
it
the
just
problem.
keeps getting worse. And
Getting worse.
I felt this way 10 years ago almost. It's been almost 10 years since we've been gone.
Yeah.
Not quite, like 9 years. But yeah, like it just keeps getting worse. And I just like feel much more cared for in Europe.
Of
I
course.
feel like if
Yeah.
I need anything, I can get it here. And I'm thriving here like big time. So
Yeah.
maybe it's not for everyone. You do have to learn new language. You have to understand things don't work the same way like
Yeah,
they
I
work in
know.
America.
I know how it is because I'm from Spain and Italy and Spain they have a lot of things in common.
Yes.
So I know
Okay. So
how it is.
you,
I
yeah,
know how
you
things
know.
move around and the culture and everything and
Exactly.
yeah.
So you got it. And I think it's really hard to explain to Americans because they've justified in their minds so much that this is just the way it is. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's the way it is. And it's like, no,
It's not
you
the way
don't
it's
have to
supposed to
live
be. I
like
know.
that. Like, Italy isn't perfect. Trust me, it's definitely
Oh,
not. And
I know.
there's no perfect country. Okay. I have yet to find it. Maybe Finland, but it's freezing there.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go there or Norway or well, maybe Denmark. I don't know.
It's very cold.
Yeah.
But as far as like the Finnish society, I'm like kind of obsessed with that.
Yeah.
As a musician, also, there's like state of the art facilities in Helsinki where
Hmm.
you can go and rent top of the line gear, guitars, drums, bass, anything you need,
Hmm.
synthesizers for free. You can have it for free. There are top of the line, state of the art studios, rehearsal rooms that you can rent for free.
Hmm.
Like because they care about music so much in Finland and they see it as adding to the culture.
Right.
There are like you go to the grocery store in Finland and like in Helsinki and there's heavy metal playing, there's death metal playing in the grocery store.
And the no, I believe it. I believe it.
It's so cool.
It's
Like for me personally, I would love to
yeah.
live there, but I am not very good in the cold,
Cold
cold
weather.
weather.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Well, what can you do? But Italy's not
but yeah,
bad
so
either.
there's no
Italy's
perfect,
okay. Italy's not it's
yeah,
not
there's no
bad.
perfect place to live. And that's
Yeah.
why we are very much like we want to just, if we feel like we need to go, like we want to just be able to go, like
Yeah.
wherever, you know? I don't know. I also love the Netherlands.
Hmm.
I feel like the Netherlands is like as far as my lifestyle and everything, like it's a pretty good quality of life. But things can change at any moment, you know, you just
Yeah,
don't know.
things are changing all over the world right now, so I don't know.
Yes,
Autocracy wants to rule the world right now.
right.
So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
yeah, what
It's
can you
really
do?
hard to just decide, like, where am I going to be? Like, what's going to be the best for my life and my future?
Yeah.
And thank God we don't have any children. Because if I had
Oh man,
children,
I know.
I would be freaking out. And I feel so bad for parents right now who are just like, what can I do for my, you know, it's really, really hard out there right now to just
I
even
know.
decide where to even be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear that from my daughter. She's a therapist and she has a very small child, so she's always talking about that also. So like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Feeling, I feel for parents right now. I really do. I really
Yeah.
do. I have
Mm.
cats. That's my commitment
For now,
to
it's that's okay.
society.
Yeah, I got a couple of dogs also, but so tell me about the new album. We're talking about many things, but that double album is like a little like 19 songs, I believe. The
Yep.
Purple Pain. Are those songs like fresh new songs, or some of them are like new remixes? Where are they? All those songs.
They're all new. There
Yeah.
is one song on the record Okay, actually, there's two songs on the record that were like revisions
Okay.
of an album we released that doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
I pulled it down. It was called Music to F2. And that there's very few people in the world that have that record.
Yeah.
So that, because it never got printed, it was just a digital self-release.
Okay.
And it was our first idea of what Corlyx was, but we did not know how to really mix and master music properly.
Mm-hmm.
So the songs were really good ideas, but like it just, the quality was really, really low. So I pulled it down, and there's actually two songs from there that we revised and we put on purple paint.
Okay.
One of them, we changed a lot. We actually changed the name of it, and we like changed the vocal melody and the lyrics.
All right.
And it's a song that used to be called Mountain City, which I don't know if anyone's watching this that like actually remembers that song, but that turned into Up on the Cross, and that is featuring Blue
Oh,
Tangle.
oh, that's the Zombie Kid album that you put out in 24.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing that's confusing on streaming, which will all be
Hmm.
like understood when Purple Pain comes out. Zombie Kid is not an EP, it's not an album. That's
Hmm.
the name of a single.
Hmm.
But they released, we released 8 singles, but because we released so many singles that are part of Purple Pain,
Okay.
Spotify in particular thinks that that's an album or thinks it's an EP
That's what
because
I
there's so
saw.
many.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are all just
Just
singles.
singles. Okay.
The
It
Sacrifice,
confuses me when I
it's
went on
because it
Spotify.
says on
Yeah.
like on Spotify, it will say like EP and then it was
Eh.
like Zombie Kid. It's like, no, that is just a single. Up on the
Okay.
Cross is just a single. You'll see when Purple Pain comes out, which is Valentine's Day.
February. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Valentine's Day, February 14th, it's out. So then everything will like line up and make sense. Ah,
Ah,
finally.
what a nightmare! Because, like I said, I went in Spotify. It confused me. The discography with the singles. Yeah, it's a big, a big.
It's a mess.
It's
It's
a
a
mess.
mess.
It
But
is.
they are like the label is like this is how we do it. It's called waterfalling singles. They
Okay,
waterfall it so that when the album comes out, all of the single streams count for album streams.
gotcha.
So it's like a way they do it. That's like the industry way to do it, and they know what they're doing. I don't know.
You just put out songs. That's it.
Yeah, so but because they wanted first they were like we'd like you to release 6 or 7 singles.
Mhm.
And Purple Pain was just 11 songs. And that's when I was like, well, if you want that many singles, I'm putting more songs on this record because
Mhm.
I want people to get like new songs when they buy the record, right? I don't want it to just be all the singles like release, like all the songs are already out. Like, what's the incentive to,
Mhm.
get the record? So that's when we decided to do a side A and side B,
Okay.
and there's some singles from both sides.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's how it got to 19 songs because I'm like, okay, if you want 8 singles, there's gonna be 19 songs.
So I'll be waiting for that if it comes out February 14th, 2025. Are we 20? Yeah, we're 25.
Yeah, we sure are. Yeah.
25. So I'll be waiting for that. And what about
Well,
some doing? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like I didn't even realize, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, we've been releasing singles for the last year and a half. We've
Yeah.
been releasing singles."
Yes.
So, yeah, it's a long time to release singles.
Yeah. So tell me about this year, 2025. I know you're gonna be playing in Germany in May, I guess, with the Adult Line Weekend, or I think it's called.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have that. We have Mira Luna,
Oh,
which
that's a
is
great
like
festival. Yeah.
really, really exciting. That is a very difficult festival to book.
Right.
So that's like going to be huge for us. We are super honored to be on that stage. So Mira Luna, and then we have Wave Gothic Treffen. That's
That's a big
another
one. That's like
amazing.
100 bands
Yeah,
playing from many days. I don't remember how many days. Three, four
yeah,
days, 5 days? I
that
don't know.
yeah, we are like I'm not sure I'm allowed to say which day we're playing yet, but
Okay.
just
One
like
of those days.
follow our socials. It's a good
Yeah.
day. And we'll be at the Moritz Festei, which is like a very iconic venue for that
Mm,
festival.
mm. How about?
And then Dark Malta we have in April. So that's our first like show of the year,
Hmm.
is Malta, and that's in April 25th.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm really excited for that one because Malta is like that whole festival, Dark Malta is so cool. There's like a goth pool party and
Hmm.
like it's a beautiful island. It's just
Malta,
such
yeah.
an interesting place to
So,
have
yeah.
a goth festival, I
Yeah.
think.
Now you got a wide, I guess, repertoire to this of songs to choose from. Do you spend a lot of time thinking about the songs to play live?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, what's important is to we change our set list a lot because of audience reaction.
Hmm.
So it's like important to play a set list and understand like what's going on with the crowd, like how
Right.
much they're enjoying it or not. So the set list I have now is really, really enjoyable. It's very up tempo. People are just like dancing the whole time. So
Hmm.
that's what I want at my shows. I want people dancing. And, you know, for 2025, we're gonna incorporate a few more new songs from Purple Pain, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have like the songs that are just live bangers and like there will always be in our set list.
Hmm.
And
That's
like The
cool.
Echo, like we always have to play that.
That
So
one is one of the big ones.
yeah, and like White Wolf also
White
is just
Wolf.
like always in our set list, and that's from our very, very early albums.
Hmm.
So yeah, I do consider the how well it does live, and then I make adjustments off of that.
Right.
And also, as we're rehearsing, I can kind of feel, is this working? Because not every song, even if it's a good song, not every song is going to translate that great live.
Right.
So I'm very, like, I think about that a lot. Yeah.
Hmm. So do you interact with the audience during your songs, or you just pick a
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
between
Oh,
songs?
yeah.
You got a
Yeah.
lot of things to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't speak, I don't talk too much. I
Hmm.
talk a little bit in between songs,
Yeah.
but we have like soundscapes playing in between songs. Like I like to keep the
Hmm.
mood. It's more of like a mood for the live show,
Hmm.
than just like, here's our songs. I'm creating like a more theatrical moment.
Hmm.
So I've also recently incorporated all of our visuals for
Oh,
the
that's
back,
cool.
and
Okay,
each song has its own visual.
that's cool.
So it's basically visuals mixed in with all of our music videos. So there's a lot of them. So it's very much like a wave of my brain and my artistic vision, like coming at you live.
Yeah. So now the visuals are very important in your shows. Very, it's
Yeah.
gonna be an essential part of your shows.
Yes, it very much is. Because yeah, it's just like all my work for years and years and years, like making
Yeah.
music videos. So of course I'm gonna have that for the
That,
live show.
that's cool. That's cool. Maybe one day I will see you guys live play. That would be
Where
nice.
are you right now?
I'm in New York. Well, I'm in New Jersey.
You're in Jersey. Okay.
I'm in Jersey, but I go to Spain every year. I'm there
Oh,
for a month. I got a house
well, we're
there,
for
so I go there.
sure. I mean, we'll for sure have a show in New York at some point. My sister lives there actually, still.
Oh, really? Well.
Yeah.
I will go
So
to
when I'm there,
Europe maybe in the summertime. I always go like June. You never know.
well, you should honestly come to Mira Luna because
Ah, yeah,
that is the best goth festival in Europe, like hands down. It's at
yeah,
least like the most famous and biggest.
yeah.
So, well, okay, so WGT has more bands and
Of course.
it lasts longer,
Yeah,
but Mira Luna is like, a weekend and it's a huge field and two massive stages.
right.
And then of course all the other amazing
Yeah.
festival activities and booths and art and all of it. But it feels more like a giant festival.
Mm.
So yeah, that's in June.
Yeah.
Or sorry, that's in August.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what I can do. But it'll be nice to meet you and Brandon and Rocco. Why not? Everybody.
Yeah.
Why not? So, my listeners and viewers, check Corlyx. They got a website, I think corlyxofficial.com.
We
Maybe not.
did. I
They
just took
did.
it down
Yeah, you should take
actually
it back.
recently. It's down because it
Yes.
was just costing a lot every month. And I'm like,
Okay.
nobody's going to the website.
So,
So
but
you
you
can
may go back.
go,
It may come
yeah, you
back.
can
It may
just,
come back. Go to
yeah, it
Instagram.
might come
That's where
back.
I check most of what she posts in Instagram.
Yeah, or Bandcamp,
Go to
that's
Bandcamp.
like,
You can find their music albums. Everything is there. Yeah,
yeah.
Bandcamp. Check them on Spotify. You can check them even on iHeartRadio. I don't know why they're there also. iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
I was like looking, they showed up. Oh, they're everywhere. Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, everything is there. Wait for that album, but go back to their discography and check those early albums they put out, and you're gonna learn a lot from them, especially their lyrics. Take a closer look at what she writes. They're very, very interesting lyrics, and I really like them. So check their discography, their videos. You can spend like 3 or 4 hours watching their videos on YouTube. They got a lot of stuff, so you can check them out also. And also, because I'm a nice guy, you can check other interviews with Carlix, where she talks about other things that you want to know about. Check there. Everything's good. Just check everything you see about them, and that's what can I say? I'll wait for the double album and see what Purple Pain it's called. It's coming February 14th. Don't forget. And I just want to wish them all the best for the rest of the year. And do your best to support the artists. Because it's very important to support these people. Because if there is no support, they will disappear. And then what are you gonna do? Just listen to old albums, nothing new coming out? Come on, we gotta keep up. Don't forget about the culture and music. It's very important.
Yes.
Capitalism is important, but not as much. Not even close. You know. So do your best. And I really enjoy talking to Caitlin. She's a great person. I know she is. Just the way she talks. She looks like a person that you can spend hours talking about life itself. So I just want to wish her the best, and Brandon also, and keep making good music.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
So all the best and enjoy the weekend.